Hey everyone, if you haven't heard by now, LEGO today announced that they bought Bricklink. And I have thoughts about it. So in this video, I'm basically going to be sharing my personal thoughts and reactions to this and what I think it could mean on the positive side and on the negative side. And this is probably going to be mostly podcast style. I don't have a lot in the way of visual aids, but I've got some stuff that can be quoted here directly from LEGO, and yeah, we can look at some stuff, but for the most part, I just want to share my own personal thoughts and feelings about this. My initial reaction when I read about it was, what? How did they let that happen? How did the current owners, or previous owners now, of Bricklink let that happen? Fundamentally, from the start, when I heard about it, I didn't like the idea. And to this day, and to this moment, I should say, I don't fundamentally like the idea. It's LEGO, the owner of the primary market here, acquiring the secondary market, most of the secondary market. Bricklink is a good thing overall. You know, it has its issues. It has had its issues over time, but the current owners, who have had it for a handful of years now, have done a pretty decent job. It's been a little bit slow, but a pretty decent job in modernizing it and making sure that it's running smoothly and, you know, good things are coming out of it. If you're not familiar with Bricklink still, it's kind of straightforward. Most of it is kind of straightforward. It's sort of like eBay, but without bidding. It's a marketplace where you have a bunch of sellers working together. Here, I'll just go directly to some stores. So look, these are all individual sellers. Separate individuals, separate people and companies, both, from folks who are just hobbyists, you know, that are just selling off a little bit of extra stuff from their own personal collections, to folks who are getting a little bit of money back as a profit to help with their own hobby, you know, investing it back into LEGO, into stuff that they enjoy, to major, massive companies. They call them small companies, but they're sometimes not that small if they're doing sales of over $1 million a year, or possibly even in some cases multiple $1 million a year, where they have an entire building for a Bricklink store, where they have multiple full-time employees working 6 days a week or something like that. You know, so it's a whole range, but ultimately Bricklink itself facilitates all of that. It brings all these people together. These are just stores located in the US, but it is absolutely global. They are all around. And the stuff that you can buy here ranges from individual minifigures to full-on sets to individual parts. So here are just sets that you can buy. And my favorite part of it is the parts catalog. That's where most of the pieces that I've used in building my Lego city come from here. If I want to build another, for instance, another mountain, you know, or another hill-like thing, then I come over here, I go to rock. What type of rock do I want? Maybe this is in the best view. There we go. You can see, you know, pictures much more easily. I come to here and say I want the medium ugly rock pieces, and I want them in dark bluish gray. And look, there are so many sellers around the world that sell these. What if I want to sort this by people who have the most? Wow, this German seller has 718 of them, and I can buy from there. They will ship to the United States. You know, it's truly a global thing, and it works really well, and it's so important for big fans of LEGO. And I think that LEGO can bring a lot of good things to that. I think they already have brought a lot of good things to Bricklink just by doing this. Just the fact that they've announced this certainly has gotten people who are not Bricklink users to look into Bricklink. What is this thing that they just bought? I'm a LEGO fan. LEGO did a thing. What is this thing? You know, just bringing more visibility to it is a good thing. Ultimately, I think just Bricklink itself and that market is great for folks of most ages, if you take advantage of it. And even for folks who don't take advantage of it directly, Bricklink supplies folks who make custom stuff, and then folks share that custom stuff with the rest of us, and we get to enjoy it just looking at it. There's so much good about Bricklink, and I think that Lego can bring a lot to it by making it more popular, by perhaps strengthening the market itself by helping to provide pieces. I don't know if they'll actually do that. I don't know what their plans actually are. I don't know if they know exactly what their plans actually are. I think they have a plan, but I don't think that plan is going to stay consistent. And there are definitely some things to be concerned about. This is the primary market leader, monopolist here, taking over all those stores. You know, it's not just taking over one site. It's taking over almost 3,500 stores in the U.S. alone. I don't remember where they have. There we go, right there. 10,000 stores. 10,739 stores. Their storefronts were just bought by Lego and are now controlled by Lego. 631.7 million items up for sale on the secondary market, now under the control fully of Lego itself. Anyone who thinks that this isn't going to change things is a fool. Seriously. If you think that Lego purchasing Bricklink is not going to change Bricklink, well, I've got a bridge to sell you. Look at this. This is very interesting. So this is Brickset here, right? I think I probably learned about this from them first through the Twitter feed. Who's this person? Julia Golden, Global Chief Marketing Officer at the Lego Group, talking about this. What prompted the decision? You can go read this stuff for yourself, but here we go. This is the good stuff. Do you envisage Lego making any changes to Bricklink? Bricklink has been extremely successful, blah, blah, blah. We do not, therefore, anticipate making any changes. Instead, we hope to support them and maintain that kind of independent spirit. Now, a super cynic will immediately just scoff at that in so many ways. And I'm gonna put a pause on that, put a pin in that, and I'm just gonna say that for the sake of this discussion here, I actually believe that many of the people at Lego who were involved in this purchase and involved in the decision to make this purchase want to make as few changes as possible, want Bricklink itself to thrive as it has up to this point and to only do better. I'm gonna make that assumption that Lego itself as an entity and its people within it are all basically good and basically want good things, and in purchasing Bricklink want good things for it and for its customers. That's my assumption. I have a right to make that assumption. However, we do not anticipate making any changes. The Brothers Brick news: Lego acquires Bricklink. Hey, it's her again. Just a smaller picture of her this time. Does that make a difference? Is it the size of the picture that makes the difference? I think it is. Because I'm going to ignore some of this stuff. Will Lego discontinue sales of custom elements that currently occur on Bricklink, like brick arms that feature historic or realistic military themes? Her again. That is a very good question. Yeah, you would not want to see brick arms and guns and things that are particularly connected with things like warfare and violence, which is something that we decided as a Lego group we would never support. Right, because Lego does not support anything related to violence whatsoever. You absolutely cannot, never could, never will be able to find a whole category of Lego items, let's say under parts, minifig, weapon. You'll never find anything related to violence from Lego, ever. They've never done anything, especially not realistic. You know, fantasy. Okay, you know, fantasy is. I mean, come on, it's fantasy. You know, blasters and things. You know, ray guns, fantasy, right? But you know, realistic stuff, Lego would never do. And these are just pieces, not even getting into sets, right? Lego would never do anything violent. But let's move forward here. Let's move forward here. Yeah. So yeah, those kinds of things we would not want to see on the platform. So that would be an immediate change. In that particular regard, yeah. I mean, we would only sell Lego. We would only support Lego branded sellers. So talking about brick arms there, but what about the whole warfare and violence thing, which goes beyond just brick arms? Whatever happened to? We do not anticipate making any changes. Same person speaking. Maybe these interviews were conducted by email on different days. Probably weren't. They're probably sent in. These news sites got their opportunities to send in questions probably on the same day. Probably submitted their questions on the same day or within 24 hours of each other. So same person speaking almost at the same time, two completely different things that are vastly different in their impacts, in their suggestion of what is going to happen to Bricklink. So do I have concerns? Absolutely, I have concerns. Do I have a right to have those concerns? Of course, anybody can be concerned. But am I right to have those concerns? Yes, it has already been proven on day one, without even a Lego logo appearing on Bricklink yet. It has already been proven that we Bricklink users ought to be concerned because they are already contradicting themselves, Lego is, in a pretty big way. Pretty dang big way. I still believe that Lego wants to keep the goodness of Bricklink alive. I don't think they will be able to keep it even as consistent, as constant, as untouched as they want. I don't think it's possible. I'm saying this as an adult, okay, but not as a young adult. As an adult who is old enough to have his age made fun of by young adults. As an adult who has worked in the corporate world for years, who has been in small companies as they've been gobbled up by larger companies, who's been in large companies as they've gobbled up smaller companies. I've been on the inside from both sides, and I've watched from the outside many, many times when acquisitions have occurred over the past few decades that I've been watching acquisitions with the ability to process it from a somewhat logical and reasonable perspective. And these things never go as smoothly as either party believes. I think that as Lego starts to realize more and more of what they've actually gotten themselves into, they will be surprised. They will find bad actors on Bricklink. Bricklink is mostly good, but there are bad things that happen on it from the seller side and the buyer side. There are more buyers than sellers by far, more purchase transactions than new sellers are created. So I believe there are more bad actions by buyers than sellers. But regardless, there's a lot going on. Some of it is bad. Some of it is not going to agree with Lego's own corporate ethics and desires and directions. Forget about the whole profit angle of it. Even if they have no interest in truly making a profit out of this, they just want to use it mostly to support the aftermarket, to support Lego fans in general, which is what I believe. I don't believe that they bought this to make money off of it, because I don't think they can make that much money off of it. I think it's much more valuable to them as essentially a marketing and PR platform indirectly, by helping people who are already Lego fans to be even stronger Lego fans for longer and to continue buying Lego products further into the future and to pass those habits on to future generations. I believe that's what they did this for, not to make money off it directly. It's an indirect long-term play. It's the only thing that would make sense here. But I don't think they're going to be able to stick to even their own initial plan, which they haven't told us. I mean, they've told us, but they've already shown that they're wrong about that in some ways. Yeah, they're going to come across bad stuff and they're going to have to make changes, and it's going to be mostly gradual, but I guarantee 3 years from now, Bricklink is not going to look and feel the same way that it does today. And not all of that will be bad. Not all of that will be bad. I think that Lego will definitely do some good things for Bricklink as well, because for so many years, Bricklink looked the same and it had gotten so old. I don't know if there's still any of the old pages around. I'm not logged in right now, but they've had in the past some old pages that have not stuck around. Like this is, I guess, a little bit of a hint of the mid 90s, maybe late 90s, mostly mid 90s kind of design. And the previous owners, after the original owner group, the owners that have just sold this, made some big strides in making it more user friendly, to be sure, making it much easier to find stuff, to do stuff here, with like carts now even that will save across the entire site. You still can't, you still have to pay separately for every single seller that you purchase from. You have to pay separate shipping and everything, but things have been integrated together much better. It's a much more holistic process to use Bricklink today. And I think that Lego can push that forward another leap and bound in the next couple of years by bringing in good user experience folks and probably mostly using the engineers that are already there today, working on Bricklink today, who already have the subject matter expertise, who know the code base, are going to be most efficient to make changes. I think that can be helped out. Lego may be able to improve stability of prices and availability of parts on things that are presently in production. They're not going to be able to do anything about stuff that's out of production, unless there are any things that they today wish never existed. They will have the right to pull certain categories altogether, to pull certain parts to make them unavailable to buy or sell. They'll be able to do that, just like they will be able to do it for Brick Arms, like they've already said that they will do for Brick Arms. I want to see if I don't even remember how specifically to get to Brick Arms. Is it under? I know there's the big other. Is there like a non-Lego? I've seen some non-Lego sorts of categories. I don't remember exactly how to get to these things, but co-branded items. No, there are a lot of things that Lego can change, and I expect that they will change things, and not all of it will be welcomed by the bricklinking community, and we're just going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to deal with our new corporate overlords here, like it or not. And I'm not the type of person to go in and be like, oh, corporate greed and corporate profit, and we need to do a change.org petition to have them sell it back to the previous owner, and that'll make a difference. And it's because Disney. I'm not into all the tinfoil hat, easy target kind of things that aren't even based on any reality or reasonability, but that get people all riled up. I'm not into any of that. I'm just speaking from the perspective of someone who's been around for a couple days and watched stuff and understands how this stuff works and can see the writing already. I mean, they've written it themselves. They've said already, oh yeah, we'll be making some changes. So, yes. They don't see an issue. No conflict here. Great questions asked here. Pretty much getting to the point. The conflict of interest question, I think, was fairly. What changes? Yeah. What changes even in the same interview? What changes does Lego plan to make with Bricklink after the acquisition? Not planning to make any changes. Everything's good, man. Everything's fine. What are you talking about? You're going to ask me this next question, But yeah, I definitely have my concerns. I would rather Lego had not bought Bricklink, just because Bricklink is an independent thing and it needs to be. Oh, here's another big question I have. What about stuff that, and when you look at sets, I should have just clicked right here. What about sets that have been released in some markets that have not been released in other markets yet? And Bricklink sellers come on and they put stuff up for sale. What if a Bricklink seller is able to get a whole bunch of new sets that have been released before they're supposed to, that have been sold, that have been purchased by that seller legitimately, legally from a retailer, and then they break the thing apart, they put all the pieces up for sale, and Lego finds out about it, like, oh, this is embargoed. This was not supposed to be sold in the first place. Okay, you're allowed to buy it. We can't go after you for having bought this stuff at retail, to then turn around and open up the box and put all the pieces on Bricklink. But we own Bricklink now, and we can take those Star Wars figures for the upcoming movie that hasn't been released yet. We can take those off completely. We can take those out of the catalog, and we can impose sanctions against anyone who tries to sell this stuff before it's supposed to go out, even though the sellers themselves have done nothing wrong. So yeah, there are definitely a lot of things that can go wrong with this, and I expect there to be a lot of things that go wrong with it. Some of it will be innocent. Some of it will be completely innocent. Some of it will be more the fault of Bricklink itself and Bricklink sellers and Bricklink buyers. And Lego will have to deal with the issues that they're not even aware of just yet, of how difficult it is to manage this and stuff that just hasn't even been taken care of by Bricklink to date. They'll have to deal with it. So there will be problems. There can be some good things to come out of this. Overall, I wish it hadn't happened. Personally, I think they're better off alone, better off independent of Lego in particular. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm interested to see what other folks think. Those were my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.